Hello there, Roman's here and welcome to my next music review. Today it's going to be Breaking Benjamin, Ember.
Music review. Music review.
Breaking Benjamin is probably one of the most successful and commercial rock bands of today. I've heard only one record so far from them, which is Phobia, arguably their most successful record, and it's been something like 9 or 10 years ago that I've listened to that record. It's kind of insane how fast the time goes by. And two songs of that record, Diary of Jane and So Called, are among the most popular. Especially Diary of Jane is one of the most popular modern rock songs in like last 15 years. Well, 12. Every time the song pops up I remember that it's Breaking Benjamin. So Called is also very popular, even though at moments it reminds me of the song Spiders from System of a Down. Upon finding out that Breaking Benjamin were about to release a new record, I decided, well, why not to give them another listen, because it's been really a long time and I just wanted to see what kind of a group they are 12 years later. They broke up in the early 2010s and this is the second album since their comeback. So the new album is coming out tomorrow, Friday the 13th, and I've heard it 5 times as of now. So let's look at the album. When it comes to the style of the record, you pretty much have a modern rock music, almost post-grunge, with very heavy riffs and extreme singing and growls, combined with very commercial and very catchy parts and choruses. Now, I really like the blend of heaviness and melodic stuff with Breaking Benjamin. I think that they do it in a way that is kind of their own, and it's really interesting that sometimes a song has a very melodic part and suddenly, it's melodic for like 5 seconds and then you've got some really heavy riff, some heavy screaming. I would say that at times they maybe dwell into the territory of metalcore, but they do it in not as extreme way. This is pretty much how most of the songs on the record sound, so there's no really point in going through individual songs as I usually do in my reviews, because pretty much all the songs are quite the same. The first song, Feed the Wolf, is a song that really reminds me of the band Red, which is a new metal band. If you have never heard about them, check them out, they're really great. Then for example the song Psycho has a great bass in the riff, and it's a song that really reminds me a lot of Diary of Jane. The only song that kind of stands out on the record is The Dark of You, which is a slowest, maybe the most mellow song on the record. I wouldn't call it a ballad, but it's something like a pop rock song. But the rest of the record pretty much falls under the same category, and this is kind of I don't want to say a problem. What I'm about to say now, just take like an opinion of someone who has heard too much music, maybe for his own good. This is a record that is too predictable for me. Every time I knew what was gonna happen, it's just, most of the choruses are very cheesy, and everything that's on this record I've heard like a million times before. And one important thing to mention is that this is extremely commercial record. The only difference between this music and generic pop music is the inclusion of heavy guitars and growls and screaming, but apart from that, you don't even have any guitar solos. There aren't really that many band parts where individual band members would show off how they can play. This is pretty much very straightforward rock music, and this just kind of made me think that where is rock music going today? It just seems that it's going nowhere really for many years. I don't really like mainstream commercial rock as it's just so cheesy and predictable. I've realized that when Stone Sour released their new album last year. I'm a pretty big fan of Stone Sour, but Hydrograd was a very bad album, and Pop Evil released their self-titled album earlier this year, and that was just such a bad record. And this is exactly a commercial rock, or mainstream rock if you will, today. There just isn't anything new that they would bring to this genre. It's just repetition over and over and over. So for me personally, this record is 6 points out of 10, which means that I would personally recommend this album only to people who listen to modern rock or heavy rock, post-grunge exclusively. And if you're a fan of Breaking Benjamin, I think that you will like this record, because even though you might have a feeling that I was very critical, I think that this is a well-done record. When it comes to the production, I'm not really a big fan of this kind of production where everything is compressed and everything is just, you know, like too loud. And but that's how almost everybody does music today, so you know, it's like no point really in pointing that out. But if you like modern rock, if you like Breaking Benjamin, I think you will like this record. I think that this is a record that would really work perfectly at the gym. I can imagine this record just, you know, pumping iron or doing squats or doing, you know, like deadlifts while listening to this music. But if you are like me, that you like music that is slightly more innovative, fresh, creative, then this is probably not a record for you. So Ember in Slovak means pahreba. But Ember is, just a fun fact, also a word in Hungarian, and it means human in Hungarian. I'm not really sure why that's important or why you should know that. So, have you heard the record already, or you haven't? If you have, if you agreed with me, or if you didn't, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find links to both in the description below. I also have a big announcement. Next week, exactly a week from now, my debut album is coming out. It's going to be prog rock music without guitars. Instead, there's drum, bass, saxophone and keyboards. Drums, not just one drum. And I'm also gonna have a first video released, so subscribe for that. It's going to be something pretty unique and pretty one of a kind. And well, thanks a lot for watching. I guess this was maybe one of those shorter reviews. And probably no bloopers. The Diary of Jane. Hello there, Roman's
Hello.
here.
What's this?
Get the review.
Music review.
When it comes to the style of the record, you pretty much in the comments in the description below.